Natasha Piri is part of our team who's been mingling with the dignitaries, as it were. Natasha, I wonder who you have now.
Joined by a number of very interesting people. Let me just start here with the ANC secretary in the region of Johannesburg, Mr. Sasabo Anamangai. Thank you so much for joining us on SABC Youth. Sasa, as we speak about, as these conversations of the GNU continue, we see more and more parties joining the GNU. But I know this also has been a bone of contention for some members in the ANC. Was this message of the GNU communicated to the branches of the ANC, specifically here in Johannesburg?
Yeah, look, remember, in the ANC, there is what you call democratic centralism. So we are led by the National Executive Committee, and the NEC has been handling this matter, and the NEC was very clear that when they are done with all these processes, they will come on the ground to explain to the structures about this GNU and all that. So that
have
process,
they explained?
No.
Are you in the process right now?
Remember, the GNU process is still continuous. They are still continuing to engage other parties. As soon as they are done, then they will come on the ground to explain to branches about the GNU, what is it all about. So that has not yet been done, except the communication that have been provided in terms of the documentation of your, the statement of intent and all that. So that information have reached us, but there will be structural meetings that will be convened where proper explanation will be given and will be taken through the GNU.
Sasa, let me just move this conversation to the SACP. Mr. Alex Mashilo, you weren't so happy about the Government of National Unity. What is your position right now? And I know that after the President's inauguration, you would be consulting with the President as to how the formation of his cabinet must be. But of course, his cabinet must comprise or must reflect the Government of National Unity.
No. Just following the elections, we held a political bureau meeting and an alliance secretariat where we discussed these matters. We made our conclusions clear as the SACP. We looked at the election results and concluded that they offered a permutation of a minority government led by the African National Congress with the features of a government of national unity. And we thought that should exclude the Democratic Alliance and the MKP. So when we calculated the distribution of seats in the National Assembly, that permutation was possible. But we were not naive to the fact that what we proposed also depended on its reception by the other parties. So in this process, you engage with other people, they put demands, and the demands they put forward and where they stand also determine the outcome. So the reality is that we are in a precarious situation. This is not the situation we were looking forward to, and it is not an easy situation to manage. That is a fact. And we have looked at what happened in Parliament. We have analyzed it. We have met again with our secretariat looking at the options going forward. What is important for us is this. The African National Congress was reaffirmed by the electorate as the largest political formation in our country. We will not allow any party undermining that will of the people. But how we enter into arrangements going forward is quite critical. That's where we stand.
Strong words there from the SACP. Before I actually link to my colleague Kenny, I have two more guests, just one question each, guys, if you will permit me. The UDM released a statement yesterday. Where are you standing in terms of the Government of Unity?
We have written to the Secretary General of the ANC requesting that they look at our proposal whereby we're saying all political parties, 18 of them that are represented in Parliament, they should be brought into one room whereby they're going to discuss the framework of the Government of National Unity. Right now, having to go and poach parties individually, it's not working. It is not what you call a Government of National Unity, but a grand coalition that you want to put together with all other political parties. So if everyone comes into the same room, then we're going to engage and come out with a strong social impact and framework of how this thing is going to work. There are questions questions around the issues of traditional leaders. They're saying they're going to review it. How are you going to review that? Secondly, there's the issue of Parliament itself. How is this Parliament going to work? Will there be an opposition? And how effective will that opposition be? So those are the questions that we need all of us to come into the same room and be able to, put a framework that will move South Africa forward, not just for political posterity and rhetoric as we go. Right now, South Africa is at a crossroad and we need everybody else to pull together.
Okay, thank you, UDM. Quickly, ANC Youth League, before I link out to my colleague Kenny, I know this new cabinet is going to be leaner, but I know that as ANC Youth League, you've been lobbying for more younger people to be actually ministers or be in the executive.
Yes, definitely we'll continue that lobby, and we believe that through this government of national unity led by the ANC and President Ramaphosa, we will be able to achieve all of that, because young people in this country need to feel represented in their cabinet, and all powerful seats where decisions are made about their future, they need to participate so that they are able to determine their future.
Okay.